All right, I'm on hole number 8 of the 2020 Community Cup. And Monday's practice round in the Rookie Division. Let's go to Golf Clash Notebook and check out hole number 8, which is hole number 4 of Namhai Cliffs. Namhai Cliffs? All right. So I came at this hole earlier today. I just went out there and played one practice hole, and I hit this hole, and I brought out a extra mile 8 and a Titan. And we did have some tailwind, and I actually ended up on the rough on the backside of the cup. If you want to come at this, we have to get an eagle on this hole every time. There's 2 of the par 4s that we absolutely have to get an eagle on. Hole number 2 and this hole right here. Every single time we come to this hole, we have to get an eagle. What's the best way to do that? Bring out a big enough ball that you don't have to do any overpower. That's it. Bring out a par 5 ball, extra mile. If you've got a lower developed extra mile, you may have to put a little bit of overpower on it, but the goal is to get an eagle on this every time with a bigger power ball. So I know if I brought out a 5 power ball that I probably wouldn't have to put on any overpower at all, but I have 3 5 power balls. So that's not going to happen today. So today I'm going to use a Titan. I don't have a lot of big ball inventory in my practice account. And I don't keep a very big ball inventory in my lower level account either. I go out there and try and figure out how to do it. I try and figure out as much as I can. If I can figure out how to do a shot with these balls right here and never have to use anything special, then that's the way I want to do it. Because we can replenish these balls as much as we want, and we can buy these balls every day. But if your game is dependent on a 5 power ball and you only have 3, we're going to hit this shot 5 times in the tournament, then you're going to have an issue. So I'm going to save those 5 power balls for the weekend round. And on some of these holes, I can go out there on the weekend round and I can increase my odds of doing it. So if you've got a limited ball inventory, be selective about what you're doing. In my practice accounts, I usually don't put those in there because I can go look at it. In my upper developed account is where I have a bigger ball inventory. And there's nothing wrong if you've got multiple accounts and you're buying balls for multiple accounts. It's not a big deal. When you start adding up how much you spend on those balls and all of those accounts in order to keep them up, then it may start to become a bigger deal. I'm going to use a Titan, the king of balls. I'm going to bring an extra mile. Now you can take this with a big topper, and it would be arguable which one of these would net you more distance. So it's 19 yards less between the extra mile and the big topper as far as raw distance. So this raw distance number, 19 yards. But we're netting 33 yards more topspin. So, which one is going to net you more? In my experience, an extra mile 8 versus a big topper with 100% topspin with a Titan, the big topper will net you more distance. My issue here is that we have a fairly narrow area that we're hitting into, and we've got 34 accuracy versus 45. And while that only sounds like 10, it could go either way. The ball guy's not as good, but here it's not really about that stuff. It's about that distance. So you could probably get a better chance of getting on with the big topper than you would with the extra mile. But if you got an extra mile 9 and you're using a Titan, you do not have to put on all the topspin or you'll end up rolling off the back. Those are the only things I need. May end up in my wedge range. Let's get a chest rolling here. Let's get a chest rolling. I know if you're hitting an overpower shot here, you got to hit that shot perfect because the fairway down there you can very easily end up in the rough. And I will tell you, it's better to be short in your short iron range and have a nice shot coming in. This is an old green, so it's flat. It's not like all these new greens where it's got, it is a flat green. There are some moguls there in front of it that you have to contend with, but this is an older hole. And they've done a slight redesign on it, and they've changed the out of bounds. The out of bounds used to be, now the out of bounds is in the drink. But the out of bounds used to be the second cut of the rough. On and one. Look at that. With a katana. So go back and rewind and watch what my opponent did, and that's what you should be doing. That was a nice shot. Nice shot. Do, 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 do. One ring great to the right. We'll see if that keeps me in the rough, or if I end up, or keeps me in the fairway, or if I end up in the rough on that side right there. So you can imagine if you came out there with a power 5 ball, you probably wouldn't have to do any overpower at all, and you're on the green. So you can definitely get it done. You can definitely get it done here. And you need to get an eagle on this hole every time. And the thing is that I don't like having to do overpower on this, because you need to get an eagle every time. And if you miss that drive with that overpower and end up in the rough up there, that's bad. That's an epic fail if you end up in the rough here. You've got to get up on the green so that you can take a putt, or on the fringe so you can take a short chip. And that was an example of how to do it with a katana and how to do it with a Titan. So either way will work. And this is hole number 1. I really want to practice, so hopefully my opponent doesn't forfeit. And if they do, they do. Never bitch when somebody's giving you coins. Sniper. 3 power ball is not the ticket. Just a little teeny bit of topspin here. I'm trying to drift it up to the cup. I need to come forward just a little. Right at the cup. My minimum club, so it's 1.5 per ring. So we're doing a 30% window dozen. That's 5.2. There's 4, 5. I'm going to do 3.5 rings. Oh, this will be a good test, though, because I'll see if I get caught up in the rough by hitting that 3 rings great to the left. And that's good that it's good that I was able to get out right there, because from there, that short chip is definitely makeable. But it's nice to know that if you're that far off, on the left-hand side, that you have a shot of not getting caught up in that rough. What a piss poor shot. All right, that was hole number 8, and I learned something there. I'm a silver lining guy. So the thing is that there was everything I could have done. I think I did everything you could possibly do wrong on that shot. But what I did learn is that you can hit, and my concern was that if you hit it great to the left there, too many rings, that you'd get caught up in the rough. And that was every bit of a 2 ring great to the left, if not a 3 ring great to the left. And I was still able to get out of that rough and have a short chip. So that's good news. That encourages me on taking that rough bump on that hole. All right. That was hole number 8 of the 2020 Community Cup and Monday's practice round in the rookie division. Thanks for watching.